20 most important questions on Shakespeare's first folio. Before we do the questions, let us understand what folio is. Folio is a book or pamphlet made of full sheet of paper, and this sheet of paper is folded to once to produce two leaves. On each side, 2 pages of the text are written. So, it total 4 pages of a text are written on the two sides of those leaves. So, the first question is who published his folio of plays prior to Shakespeare? Usually, we hear that Shakespeare's first folio was written in this year or that year. That mean, when we hear of folio, we just imagine Shakespeare only. But there was one writer who wrote, who published his folio before Shakespeare. Can you name it? It was Ben Jonson, titled The Works of Benjamin Jonson, and he published his folio in 1660s. So let us move to the second question. When was Shakespeare's first folio published? It was 1623, about 7 years after Shakespeare's death. The third question is, now who compiled Shakespeare's first folio? Now Shakespeare died 7 years before this folio was published. Now who compiled it? His colleagues, John Hemmings and Henry Condell. And they dedicated this folio to whom? The answer is William Herbert and Philip Herbert. William Herbert was 3rd Earl of Pembroke, and his brother Philip Herbert, he was Earl of Montgomery. Now, how many plays of Shakespeare does it contain? Usually we know that he had written 37 plays, but this folio contained less of the number. Can you remember it? 36. That means one play of Shakespeare was not included in it. Can you name which of the play was not included? We will come to know in another question. So let us focus on how many of Shakespeare's plays had been published before this folio. The answer is 19. Now, as I asked you earlier, which play, he had written 37 plays, but this folio contained only 36. Now, which play was not involved, not included in the book? Was it Hamlet, was it King Lear, Cymbeline, or Pericles? Pericles. It was Pericles. How many comedies, histories, and tragedies the first folio contained? "14 comedies, that includes tragicomedy also, 10 histories, and 12 tragedies. Now this is a very important question. What is foul paper in terms of Shakespearean plays? The answer is, it refers to Shakespeare's working drafts of a play. Means to say all, drafts before finalizing a play. Now, who published Shakespeare's first folio? Now, compiled by Hemmings and Condell. Now, who published it? It was Edward Blount, William and Isaac Jaggard. Prior to his first folio, which play was Shakespeare's first publication? Before the compilation was done, now which play was published for the first time? It was Venus and Adonis. And then another question, prior to his first folio, how many individual printed editions of his works are known? The 78. Good a number. Now, who is the first known literary critic to comment on Shakespeare? This is very interesting. The answer is Francis Meres. Which play does not appear in the table of content in Shakespeare's first folio? Means it includes 36 plays, but one play did not appear in the table of contents. Which play is that? Troilus and Cressida. Remember that. Who wrote a preface to the folio with this poem addressed to the reader in Shakespeare's first folio? Means to say, in Shakespeare's first folio, which author added a preface which contains this poem to the reader? The answer is Ben Jonson. Next question is, prior to Shakespeare's first folio, who printed the so-called false folio? Means somebody tried to publish his, some plays, some pirated or spurious Shakespearean play, some with false dates and title pages. And when was it published? William Jaggard tried to publish it. He published it, not tried to publish, he published it in 1619. And you need to remember, he is person who is actually involved in publishing the first folio of Shakespeare. So question number 17, in which year was the first folio reprinted? In which years was the first folio reprinted as the second folio, third folio and fourth folio? First folio was written in 1623, second in 1632, third in 1663, fourth in 1685. So let us match the following. On one side we have folios, on the other side we have publishers. This is the answer. First folio published by Edward Blount, second folio by Robert Allott, third folio Philip Chivendi, and fourth folio by Bentley and Herringman. Now the question number 19. Which Shakespearean folio contains an unsigned poem? This is very important. Unsigned poem by John Milton. First folio contained preface written by Ben Jonson, and he included a poem to the reader. Now which Shakespearean folio contains an unsigned poem by John Milton? The answer is second folio. It was published in 1632. So the last question. Which folio is relatively rare because unsold copies were destroyed in the Great Fire of London in 1666? Now, before the Great Fire of London destroyed, you need to understand the three folios had already been published. First was in 1623, second in 1632, and third in 1665. So let us see the answer. It is third folio. And if you like the video, please subscribe because I really need your support. And please wait for more such videos. Thank you so much.